Hey everyone. So UFC 316 is in the book. Smoke is starting to clear. Let's talk about the big topic, the big discussion point right now. What does Kayla Harrison's UFC future look like? First of all, what is Kayla's strongest attribute? Is it her athleticism? Her size, her power, her speed, her ground game? It's none of those. They all pale in comparison to what truly is her best attribute, and that's her mental toughness. But looking at Kayla Harrison's UFC future, things need to be different and they need to change fast for her own long-term health and her long-term survival. Guys, I need you to please like the video, share it out, subscribe to the channel, and down below you tell me what you think the future holds for Miss Harrison. Look, I talk a lot about how much I hate weight cutting. This week alone, we had this big brouhaha with Keyshawn Davis. But being a champ means you have to hit your mark. There's no allowances. You can't be 136 as Bantamweight champ. You have to hit 135. At 34 years old, I'm going to safely assume Kayla's walk-around weight, 175 to 185. And if you say I'm nuts, listen. Not too long ago, PFL made a 155 division, specifically for her. And she talked that she had to, cut a good amount of weight for that. So just as we age as humans, you could tack on a couple of more pounds. So 175, 185 is not that hard to imagine. Maybe 165 she's walking around at. Dropping to 135 is murder. And she talked about it, that this week was absolute crushing on her. She now has to do it every time out to defend that strap. And how many times you think she can do that? Honestly. Even she does everything the right way. She eats, she has a great nutritionist, she has a great team around her. How many more times you think she could do it without killing her kidneys? Once? Maybe twice more? It might be a smarter move for her to sit down with her team and say, you know what, we climbed the mountain, we got it, and now I'm vacating the strap. That might be the smartest move she could make. I mean, look, the UFC went down the 145 path once before, and I mean, do you think they're ever going to do that again? I think there's a better chance of me winning a marathon than Dana White doing a female featherweight division ever again. And like I said, the PFL, one step better than them, did a 155. Try finding female 155ers. Those are like hen's teeth. And most of the time, she was fighting 145ers blowing up to 155. And 155 was her sweet spot. It's why one of the reasons why I don't like the Amanda Nunes Kayla Harrison fight. And look, I went into Amanda Nunes coming back in another video. And at the end of this video, I am going to link it in one of the corners. I'm not sure which one, but I will link that video. Please watch that one as well. Because honestly, if Amanda comes back and they fight at 145, or heck, even 135, does Amanda coming off the couch deserve to jump the queue at 135 to get a strap? They call her the GOAT, the best of women's MMA. I have to disagree. Chris Cyborg is a Grand Slam +1 champion. Invicta, Strikeforce, PFL, UFC, Bellator. 5 championships, 5 different organizations, only one to ever do it. Chris Cyborg is the GOAT. And at 39 years old, Chris Cyborg is still active. Yeah, she's not doing MMA. I don't know if she's still contracted with the PFL, but she's boxing and she's looking good. She's winning all her boxing matches. Striking still top notch. Chris Cyborg was, is, and always will be the GOAT of women's MMA. So don't get it twisted, folks. It's not Amanda Nunes. Anyways, this video is about Kayla and Kayla's UFC future. I mean, you could do what Dana White can do, what Don Davis did, and have special one-offs. But is that something that Kayla would want? Like I said, the Cyborg fight's more interesting to me than Amanda Nunes. Larissa Pacheco is still out there, but Kayla's 2-1 against her. I don't see a need for a 4th fight, although the 3rd fight is the one that Pacheco gave it to Kayla, but good. Arlene Blencow is still around, but she's 42. She doesn't move as good as she used to, and she is so open to submissions. I can see Kayla getting her down to the ground and finishing her inside of 2 minutes. So that fight really wouldn't make too much sense. Julia Budd is an interesting case because Julia Budd, even though she's 41, still has good cardio. Her kickboxing is still there. She might have a little bit more to give to Kayla. I checked some scouting reports and some videos, some highlights, and there's actually 2 women in Invicta right now that would be quite interesting for Kayla. I just don't think that they're so primed and ready yet for that much of a spotlight that Kayla would have put on them. And honestly, Shannon Knapp and Dana White have had a decent relationship, so I wouldn't find it out of the ordinary if Shannon Knapp let them, come over to the UFC for a fight or 2. And by the way, one of the Invicta matchmakers is Amanda Nunes. Okay, so we have 32-year-old Riley Martinez, who she's only 4-1, but her 4 wins are all finishes. And they're all in the first round. She is a pit bull along the fence line. Her ground game is top notch from everything that I've seen. She throws heavy knees in a clinch. Her jiu-jitsu is solid. And you can say the same with a 21-year-old in Invicta who's also 4-1. Jaylene Ronblido. As a matter of fact, the two of them just fought, and she has heavy wrestling. Nasty ground and pound. She is a master at jiu-jitsu, and her transitions are incredible. She slides from one submission hold to another like water. Okay. So Kayla did break through another ceiling that has to be talked about. When it comes to other fighters coming from other organizations, it's her first to win gold. Now, okay, Conor, broke through in 2015, winning his first strap. But since let's look at this with a closer window. Let's go to when World Series of Fighting rebranded into the PFL. The first one to come over was Justin Gaethje. Well, Justin BMF strap, I don't consider BMF strap real gold. Interim champ, not really. Can you look at an interim champ as the champ? But look at everybody who didn't pan through. Okay. And like I said, a short window, going back to, 2017. So we're not looking at the WEC Strike Force guys, not the Pride guys. Okay. Askren, no, and by the way, prayers go out to Ben Askren, fighting staph and pneumonia. Chandler, no. I think the window is closing on MVP and Pitbull. We still don't know if the bright lights last night were just too big for Apache Mix. I think Aaron Pico has a chance to win gold. I think Patty Pimblett has a chance to win gold. Ian Gary has a chance to win gold. But there are very few fighters, and like I said, it's like Conor and Kayla. Also, obviously, Ronda. To be a name in another organization, come in and win gold. And since the PFL being switched from World Series, it's only Kayla. And yeah, there's guys that obviously, other organizations. I'm talking about the big. I'm not talking about the LFAs. Okay, I'm talking about the mid-range organizations, which is basically just Bellator. But again, if Kayla and Amanda are going to fight at 145, take the strap off of Kayla. Okay? It does nothing for Amanda's legacy to fight Kayla. Sure, it does. It's a possible name on Kayla's resume, but she's been retired for. Yeah, she's training, she's working out, but it's different than fighting. The name that can be put on Kayla's resume that means something is Chris Cyborg. And like I said, Julia Budd maybe, or one of these other Invicta 2 that I said. But 135 is not good for Kayla. Not at all. And if I'm her family. I explain that to her. We sit her down and say, look, you did it. You made the magic happen. Let it go. Don't need... Because here's the deal. If let's say she fights, I don't know, Ketlin Vieira or whoever at 135. She comes in at 136. Guess what? The belt goes bye-bye. You know? Does it make sense to lose the belt on the scales? No. You got the strap, just vacate it. So, I think her future can still be bright. I just don't think she wants to do the special one-off fights. She didn't want to do it with Don Davis. I don't think she's going to want to do it with Dana White. It's a tough situation to be in. But anyways, guys, do me a favor. Like the video. Share it out. Punch that subscribe button. Put that subscription button into a Kimura. Okay? Lock that subscription button up by hitting it. And down below, you tell me what you think truly, honestly, is the best for Kayla Harrison and her UFC future. And don't forget, watch the Amanda Nunes video that is going to be linked in one of these four corners. And until the next video, it's Cyclone saying, peace out, homies.